Hello and welcome to Management 333, Business Analytics for Decision Making. I'm Dr. Rich Gruss and I'm going to be the instructor. What I would like to do with this first lecture is to just go through some of the mechanics of the course. First of all, I want to provide a definition of what we mean by business analytics. And then I'm going to show you the resources and how everything's going to work with this course this semester. I'm going to take a look at the D2L, maybe run you through the syllabus and the online video lectures and how to use them. Then we'll take a look at MyStatLab, which is where most of your work is going to be submitted. Well, you'll find out that it's really going to be a lot of pointing and clicking and submitting answers, and because everything is distant, that's really the only assignments that you'll have. So I'll spend a little bit of time going through the mechanics of exactly how that works. In terms of how to purchase it, how to work your way through it, and then how to find your way through the digital textbook. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to install the main software tool that we're going to use, and that's the analysis Toolpak. Now, I know a lot of you have the statistics calculators, the TI-84, and I'm going to show you how to do a lot of things in there, but you can also use the analysis Toolpak, spelled with a K, because it provides a lot of real goodies, a lot of shortcuts, and I hope that as you get more sophisticated that you'll transition away from the calculators and start using Excel more and more. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, this term business analytics, it's not something that's been around forever. The definitions are a little bit fluid, but what they all have in common is the intelligent use of data to drive business decisions. Now, data has always driven business decisions. There's always room for intuition and creativity here and there, but the truth is people make decisions based on data, and they always have. In the 19th century, Andrew Carnegie used to stand with a clipboard in his train stations and just count the number of people who went from this platform to that platform, how many people got off this train and on this one. And so he, data has always been something that's there and has always driven decisions. But what has changed recently and why this new term has been necessitated is just the scope and the sophistication and the amount of data. Now, so how does it differ from just like statistics? Well, statistics is part of it, and it's kind of a beginning. It's sort of fundamental, but what we have lately is a whole new set of problems that no longer have to do with the traditional concerns of statistics. That is, sampling and inference and the basic hypothesis testing that you see in statistics. We have a whole new set of different data types and different questions that we have to answer. And so the scope of business analytics actually extends much further than statistics. Now, we'll spend a lot of time talking about statistics because it's kind of a building block. But I hope to convince you that we kind of have to move beyond that with a new set of tools that you'll get some introduction to in this course. So the kinds of decisions that analytics is deployed to solve, the questions that it's designed to answer. So things like how many people will buy our product. It's a pretty basic and important question, right? If you can't anticipate sales, then you can't really get started in terms of planning at all, or seeking investors and so forth. So which products should we make? Okay, so you see, we've got, which products are going to, are going to sell? Are there ways that we can look at the market and, do some analysis of what people are saying and what people are currently buying to decide what we should be doing? What kind of risks should we plan for? And you see, I put here as examples of applications here: credit scoring, fraud detection, and social media analytics. I understand that there are some banks that are now crawling social media to try to assess people as loan risks. I don't know if that's true. It would be interesting if it was. Okay, so other kind of more pragmatic decisions. Where's the best place to build a factory? Okay, how can we deploy data and computational models to figure out where we should put a factory or where we should put a retail outlet? Okay, how many employees should we have? Okay, so uh, there's this kind of sophisticated sophisticated approach where you simulate the operations. You put in all kinds of parameters, and then you just say, okay, run for a day and show me what would happen with certain measures like customer wait time or cost. Um, you know, show me what will happen if I say add 2 employees, or if I take away a certain workstation or something like this. So simulation is something that can kind of a neat method that can be used to answer a question like that. And another question here: are we meeting quality standards? So there's a whole discipline of statistical quality control where you're picture them standing there on um, an assembly line with standards, and they have these charts that decide whether you're statistically still within bounds of certain quality metrics. If you've heard of Six Sigma actually refers to a term in statistical quality control. So there's a really broad range of interesting tools and problems that are being addressed here. Um, but what folks have done recently is they have divided up this whole vast range of business analytics into 3 basic types. That is descriptive and predictive and prescriptive. So these differ in the kinds of questions that they answer. So under descriptive analytics, these are the the data and the analyses that are trying to answer the question, what is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Predictive analytics is trying to answer the question, obviously it's predictive, so what will happen? And prescriptive analytics, these tools are trying to come up with some kind of recommendations. So this is answering the question, what should we do? Okay, so you see they've got the descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive over here, and they've also got these different domains in which analytics can operate. So we've got here customer analytics. So an example of a description is, who are my customers? Predictive would be, which of my customers will churn? And prescriptive, what offers should I give to my potential churner? Okay, so you see there where there's a recommendation. So they also give you examples here of operational analytics and people analytics. So sometimes also just called HR. So how are my people's performance? That's what is happening. Which people shall I promote? Okay, which people will perform better? So that's what will happen. And what incentives should I give to improve performance? And so they've also got some examples of accounting analytics over here. But this kind of tripartite subdivision is one that you generally see all over the place. And all of the different methods that we're going to talk about this semester will be under mostly descriptive and predictive. Descriptive and predictive. We're not going to get into much prescriptive because that's getting into some kind of sophisticated stuff that we may handle in a later semester, but we're not going to do those just yet. So examples of like descriptive analytics. So these could just be things like visualizations or dashboards. Just there is a whole discipline and an art to creating visualizations that help to describe, the state of affairs. Of course, the design of dashboards, how to put data in front of people that's going to be useful for their decision making. So those things, and then of course, just of course, descriptive statistics, which you'll see is the first thing we're going to study. Okay, so examples of predictive analytics, which we're also going to get into sort of in the second half of the term. These will be your regressions and forecasting. And then there's a whole suite of predictive models. I'm just going to write predictive models here. Predictive models. And these are things like neural networks and clustering and classification, sort of machine learning has a big role in a lot of predictive modeling. Okay, and I'm sorry for the messy writing. It's kind of hard to write on the screen. So regressions, forecasting, predictive models. Now down here in prescriptive, these tools are things like decision trees and well, one thing that's done a lot here in this area is simulation. So you simulate various scenarios and see what's gonna come out the other side, and that's got an implied recommendation. And optimization. Optimization. Okay, so there's kind of like the big roadmap of all the different kinds of analytics and how they fit into this overall scheme. Okay, so in speaking more pragmatically about business analytics, there's been a lot of interest in analytics lately. The job market, a lot of experts are predicting that there's some predictive modeling there, are predicting that there's going to be a shortage of people who really have the skills to handle this new era of huge amounts of data that we have there. So it's been predicted that there's going to be a serious shortage of managers and analysts with the skills needed to make effective decisions. And so here, this prediction here, by 2020, the number of jobs for all U.S. data professionals will increase by 364,000 openings to 2.7 million, according to IBM. And only a small fraction of these actually require anything more than a bachelor's degree. So, these are not like, big hardcore data science jobs that require a PhD or something like this. These are jobs that a business major with a bachelor's degree and a good handle on analytical tools. These are jobs that are there and will be available, and vacancies will be growing. So it's a great time to be an expert in analytics. Okay, so what are the qualifications for these analytics jobs? So of course there's some mathematics, and I'm not going to candy coat it. There will be some mathematics involved in this course. But that's not the only thing. If it were only mathematics, it would be taught in a math department. We also have, you have to understand business strategy. And then, of course, there's also this third thing over here, technology and hacking skills. So we'll be using Excel, but there's a lot of other great tools, Python and R and, Hadoop and so forth, where your technology abilities kind of help quite a bit on your ability to do this kind of analysis. Well, and so what they say is that it's not really realistic for one person to be good at all of these things. And if they are, they're so-called unicorn. And, these kind of data scientists here, these world-renowned experts who can do all of these things. But most people kind of specialize in one or the other. And I see us as kind of over here, kind of on the business side with maybe just a little bit of technology with Excel and math expertise, which will have varying levels. Okay. All right. So what I want to do with the rest of the time here is to just show you, roughly how the course is going to work, and specifically, I want to take a look at D2L. D2L is kind of going to be the center of where everything is on the course. Even though you'll be doing your assignments in my stat lab, D2L is going to be where you should check the calendar, check the assignments, check for updated documents and so forth. And that's where you're going to find all of your online resources and the video lectures, like the one you're watching now. Okay, I'm going to take you through the syllabus, and then we'll go into my stat lab, and then finally look at Excel. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. So if you go to the Radford, let's go ahead and just start on the Radford homepage. Go to My RU. So over here on D2L, Desire to Learn, you log in. And the course is, so here. Okay, so under course information, you'll find the syllabus and the MyStatLab instructions, and then you'll notice that the course is divided into 3 weeks. That is, each one of these is going to be a distinct topic, and there will be an exam after each topic. So we're going to, in week 1, we'll go through descriptive statistics and probability, and in week 2, we'll be doing hypothesis testing, and in week 3, we'll be getting into regression. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the syllabus. Okay, so there's some kind of mechanical information up there. There's my name and my office and my email. Email is a good way to reach me. I try to answer reasonably promptly within 24 hours. And some more instructions there. I won't read through everything because I know you know how to read. So notice that the course grading consists of 3 exams, each of which is worth 100 points. And then all of the homework that's assigned on my stat lab is also worth 100 points. Now, the exams and the homework will all be done through my stat lab. Okay. Now, this course is going to move pretty quickly. So you're going to have every day you're going to have to do quite a bit of work, which consists of reading assignments, watching a video lecture, looking at slides, and then also doing an assignment in my stat lab. So if you're not in a position to be able to spend 3 hours a day or more on this, then you might want to consider taking this course during the regular semester. Okay, and I'll just come down here to the actual schedule and show you. Okay, so as I said, the course is chopped up into 3 weeks, and each day is a new topic, and so you can see what those are there. And each topic comes with a reading assignment, a pointer to a lecture, and then it tells you here what is due. So you'll notice that your first assignment is due the first day of class on the 30th here, and that's MSL1. MSL stands for My Stat Lab. So you'll see that every single day there's a new topic with the new reading assignment, a video lecture, or 2 or 3, and an assignment. Now, notice that you have on each Friday, in addition to the homework assignment, you also have an exam. Now, the homework assignment is due in the evening, whereas on the evening of Friday, whereas the exam is going to be due on the following Monday. So you'll have to figure out how to work your schedule around that. But basically, I made it so that you will finish that 5th assignment there, and then you'll have a little bit more time to study for the exam. Okay, and so you'll see there's week 2. Again, every single day we have a new topic with a reading assignment and a video lecture, and my stat lab assignment. And again, same thing, exam 2 on Friday, August 10th. And then exam 3 will be on August 17th on that Friday. So there's not a final exam, and there's only these 3 exams and all of the 15 different MyStatLab homework assignments. Okay, so there's no cumulative thing. Each of the exams is its own set of topics. Okay. All right, so that's the schedule of how the course is gonna run. Let me take you into MyStatLab. Now the other document here in course information is instructions on how to register for MyStatLab. Now this is listed in as a required course. Sorry, as a required text for the course. And I think you can buy it directly by going to this website and putting in a credit card, or some people have to work through the university for scholarship money or something like that. But if you are in a position to just pay with a credit card, you can go directly to this website and then just register. And this in red here is the course. So once you get in there, you can put in this course ID, and you can follow the instructions from there. And then once you're in, you're going to have you're gonna see Management 333 Business Analytics for Decision Making, and you come into the course, and here's what it looks like. Okay, so this home page is just going to show you some upcoming assignments, and you can see that MSL 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all due consecutive days at 11:59 p.m. So, and then if you come over here, so if you come to the homework tab, you'll see all 15 of the assignments with the dates that they're due. Under quizzes and tests, you'll see those 3 exams. Now don't get confused, these down here are just samples. They're for practice. Those scores are not recorded, so you can take them and mess around as much as you want. But these are the actual exams. Now, don't go into these until you are ready. You have, from the time you start until the time you have to submit it, 150 minutes. It shouldn't take quite that long. I don't think it will, but I've given you that amount of time. But when you go into the exam, you have to complete it in that sitting. So you can't come back to it. You can come back to the homeworks, but you can't come back to the exam. So that's a key difference between the exams and the homeworks. Okay. So let's go back to the homeworks, and I'm just going to show you kind of how this works. So if you click on the assignment, you get this list of questions. We'll go to question 1. Okay, and you get a pop-up menu. I set up these assignments so that you can check your answers. So, I can select this answer, do check answer, and it says that's not correct. And it gives me a hint, but it gives me a second chance. Now, I would not advise just guessing until you get the right answer, because you really need to be prepared, because on the exams you're not given a chance to check your answers. So these assignments are really good practice. The pool of questions that I draw the exam questions from is the same pool that the homework questions come from. So if you go through all of these assignments and submit them as they're due and do well, then you should be able to do well on the exams. Okay, so I would recommend spending some time really making sure you understand the answers to these questions. Okay, now let me just take a random guess here and see. Okay, so you see it gives some nice detailed hints in some cases. Okay, and then I think when you're done, you can submit that, and the answers, your scores here in MyStatLab will appear when I download them, and then I'll upload them into the grade book in D2L. But D2L will be the authoritative grade book. So if you see a score that's different in D2L as it is in MyStatLab, then definitely let me know over email. Okay. All right. So the other thing that you have access to, so once you purchase a license to MyStatLab, you have access to the book. Now the book is here, and you can order a hard copy if you like. It's awfully expensive, but you don't really need it unless you can only read this kind of material on text. Like me, I read a lot better on paper, but I understand that's a generational thing. The book is hidden here under chapter contents. So if you click there, you'll see all the chapters, and you can jump to the chapter. You may have noticed that I gave you chapter sections in the on the schedule, so you can jump directly there. But any of these that you go to, I mean, if you click on here, it's going to launch you into this reader thing. And once you're there, you can navigate through the entire book. See, there are all the chapters. And so you can just read it directly on the page and use this arrow to go through, to page through each of the pages. Okay, let's see, it looks like a two-page view here also. Okay, so this is where you can do your reading assignments if you don't have a paper copy of the book. And I think that probably given the cost, if you can read on the screen just fine, this would be a good thing to do. Okay. All right. So there's my stat lab. I want to show you one more thing before we wrap it up, and that's the tools that you'll be using in Excel. So as I said, we'll be doing most of the work in Excel, and I expect a certain amount of knowledge with Excel. Hopefully this course will be a learning experience. You'll really refine your Excel skills, but I do hope that you also know how to create and save a file, to navigate around through cells, that you understand how to put in a function. And if not, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and go through some tutorials and catch up as quick as possible. But the tool that you'll be using is the Data Analysis Toolpak. And you can install that in Excel by coming to File and Account, Options, and coming down here to Add-ins. Now this will give you a list of all the add-ins that you have installed. But down here you can manage your add-ins, and what you'll be looking for is for this to say Excel add-ins, and click on Go. And then this will give you a list of what you can install. So the one that you need, you don't need these others. They're kind of nice to have, but you don't need them. This first one here, the Analysis Toolpak, you want to make sure that that's clicked, and you click OK. Now, other versions of Excel have slight differences. As a Radford student, you are entitled to a free copy of the latest version of Excel. So I would advise that you check the IT one-stop, or give tech support a call at Radford, and they can tell you how to go ahead and install it if you do need a newer version. Okay, so what does that Toolpak give you? So after you've installed it, it gives you access to this data ribbon right here. And mostly what we're going to be using is way over here. We might do some pivot table stuff, but mostly we'll be using this data analysis tab right here, this data analysis button. Just to show you kind of roughly how it works. You click there, and then you have access to all these different statistical tools. ANOVA, correlation, covariance. We'll be using moving averages when we're doing forecasting. We'll be doing all of these t-tests, and we'll be doing all those ANOVAs, and even some sampling and some regression. So you'll learn your way around this menu pretty well. For now, let me just show you how this works. If you click Descriptive Statistics, and I've got just a small data set here just to show you. So I can select this data range here, and I'll have summary statistics clicked here or selected, and it creates a new worksheet in here where it gives me the mean, and there's the median, the mode. There is no mode, so apparently there are no repeated observations. And kurtosis, range, minimum, maximum, sum count. Okay, so a lot of the kind of the basic descriptive measures are only one click away. So that's the kind of thing that you can do with this analysis Toolpak. Okay. All right. So the last thing I want to say, or I've got two more things to say actually, is I want to emphasize once more that we're going to be covering a lot of material in a short amount of time here. So every day is a whole new topic that would normally take a week or even more to absorb. But this is an accelerated class, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of commitment. So just to warn you up front that it's not going to be easy. So what I recommend is that each topic, that is each day, you complete the assigned reading, and that should take 1 to 2 hours. That you watch the video lecture if it's available. Now, I don't make a lecture for every last thing because some things you can just read and understand them, but I made lectures for some of the more subtle topics. And I'll continue to post those as I make them. And so that'll take another 1 to 3 hours. You should study the slides, and then you should complete the homework assignment. Every single day will come with an assignment. And then, of course, email me any questions. So at the end of each week, you'll also be wrapping up the module. And so in preparation for the exam, you should be reviewing all the homeworks. And so my stat lab has a little study plan tab in it, and that lets you just kind of pick various questions and practice them. And I would advise you to do those if you're having problems with a particular kind of question. Finally, come to my office if you have any questions, or email me if you're too far away. And if possible, I will answer your question either in email or on a video like this one. And I would advise you to set aside 2 hours to complete the exam. 2.5 hours is what you're given, but you should set aside at least 2 hours. Okay. And so to kind of kick things off, what I'm asking everybody to do is on D2L, under this discussions tab here, you see that I've created discussion topics for each of the first topics that we'll be covering in that first week. And if you have any questions that you think are not distinct to you, that might be of interest, that other people are having trouble with, post them here. I'll get an alert and I'll try to answer them so that everybody can have access to the answers. And down here on the bottom, I've got a course preliminaries forum with a topic called introductions. What I'd like for each of you to do, because it is remote and it's kind of hard to create the kind of collaborative spirit without having seen you, is to go on in there and create a new thread which is entitled Your Name, and just give me a little bit of a background about who you are and why you're taking the class, and just kind of what you're about, so that it'll help me and the others to kind of see who else is out there and what else is going on. Okay, so please have that finished as soon as you can. Okay. All right. And so if you have any questions, just send me an email, and welcome to the course. And I hope you learn a lot.